Yo, 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 yo. What it do? Welcome back to a fresh episode of Talking Game. This your host, Tony Lewis, Anthony, LT, Yellow Tape King. Depending on what you call me, I know what I was on when you met me. But today, I'm solo today. I will be locking in with Cuz later so we can do a mid-season NFL report. But tonight, this morning, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing this. I want to I'm going to talk a little baseball, and I want to go through all I've seen in the NBA season so far over the first 10 games or so. I think everybody is at 9-10 game mark. I was able to watch up to 20 teams so far in these first 2 or 3 weeks. It's hard watching everybody. Some teams I don't really care to watch. So, like, if they're not playing the team I care about, I'm probably not going to catch them. So, no Washington, no Raptors, even though they just had a great game last night that I should have checked on, but I decided to watch the Bucks and the Bulls. So, let's get this thing rolling, guys. I'm going to start off talking MLB. Astros win. Astros don't win. The Rangers won the World Series. Big ups to them. It just sucks to see Montgomery get a chip, Evaldi get a chip, and the Yankees are without one. We're going on 14 years since the Yankees won one, and as a Yankees fan, I am very disappointed. I wanted to start my baseball talk with Ron Washington, L.A. Very deserving. As a Yankees fan, this is a guy that I wanted. Very disappointed that we kept Aaron Boone, but hey, Boone, Cashman, they're going to keep running amok until the bosses care about the Yankees like the fans do. That's here nor there. I'm here to shout out to Ron Washington, another black manager. We lost one with Dusty Baker going into retirement, but we gained one with Ron Washington going to L.A. Back-to-back World Series appearance as a manager with the Rangers. Literally 1 out away from being a World Series champ in 2010 with the Rangers. We all know what this is about, right? Is Ron Washington going to be enough to keep Ohtani and possibly Trout in town? More so Ohtani because he's actually a free agent. Trout, I think he loves sunny LA. It is on the table that they can trade him. They seem to want to work in unison with him to see what would be the best ideal situation for Mike Trout. But we all know this is about Ohtani. But when it comes to the Angels, if I'm Ron Washington, the first thing I'm asking the front office and upper management is, what are we going to do about pitching? The Angels show that they have no problem spending money, but they never spend money on pitching. Okay? You break the bank for Trout. I'm sure you're going to break the bank for Ohtani. You broke the bank for Rendon, even though he got paid and he's been stealing money ever since. So that would be my main concern if I'm Ron Washington. But if you look at his contract, it's only 2 years. That's not rebuild time. That is, you have 2 years. We're going to give you a team that's built to win now. Can they do that with this free agency? Who knows? You have to bring back Ohtani, so that's money you have to spend. You have to shore up the pitching. You have to figure out what's going on with third base and Rendon. And maybe even Mike Trout, because he's been nicked up these last couple of years. So you want to get younger and improve. So with this Ron Washington hire and it only being 2 years, him being a proven manager, this to me makes the Angels major players in free agency. This is win now mode. This is let's see if we can buy a chip mode if I'm the Angels. You don't want to keep playing second fiddle to the Dodgers. This is why you make this move for the Angels. For Ron Washington. Go for the gusto. Why not, right? Hopefully, Ron Washington does well, just not better than the Yankees. Like I say, I remember speaking during the regular season saying, dang, I wish we got Ron Washington. He's a developmental guy. So that is another thing, maybe the Angels look at it, we're going to go the other way. We're going to strip this thing down, and we're going to let Ron Washington develop us a championship contender. This 2 years is only maybe because of age, and to see how he feels after the 2 years. It might not be an Angels thing. So we'll see, because it's no standing pat with the hire like this. You either go balls to the walls and you spend all your money and you try and win a chip, or you strip it all down. You tell Otani you can go about your business, you can walk. You trade Mike Trout for the most assets that you can get, farm system players, maybe ready-made pros, and you move forward from that, LA. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do during the hot stove of the winter. No, I got to jump over to my Yankees. It's tough, man. It is tough. Looking right now, the Yankees are basically running it back with the coaching staff, the GM. Oh my gosh. So Brian Cashman has the nerves to say that we have the smallest analytics department in baseball. Okay. So if analytics isn't the reason that we're losing, because we're not leaning on analytics, which to me I thought we were, it's the only reason why Boone makes some of the terrible pitching and rotation decisions, at least I would think. Is it Aaron Boone's fault that we've been losing all these games in? Because if it isn't analytics, at some point it has to come down to coaching. Or management not putting the right team putting the right team in pinstripes, the right players in pinstripes. I feel like Cashman saying that about the analytics, if people paid more attention, definitely means that upper management and the manager of the team, terrible job. Another reason why you guys should be gone. Aaron Boone, we got rid of Joe Girardi after he's gone to the ALCS. Aaron Boone has not even been there. Let that sink in. If this was the old boss, he would have been fired probably 3 times by now. He might have got fired, brought back, and fired just again. Brian Cashman has been with the Yankees since 96. Well, before that, but he's been the GM since the Jeter era. Even successful GMs, which he has been, when you think about the championships that he's won, even though we haven't won one since 2009, even successful GMs in business, they win, and after a while, you be like, you know what? They find a new challenge. Cashman, stop sucking the tit and go find a new challenge, because you are draining the Yankees and the Yankees fans. Theo Epstein broke the curse in Boston, probably could retire there. And you know what he decided to do? Go break the curse in Chicago. I need Brian Cashman to go find something else to do. I don't care what it is. But as long as we have Brian Cashman, that leads me to my wish list for the Yankees in this offseason. Okay? First, we have to sign Cody Bellinger or bring in Juan Soto, that is, on a monster trade and deal. Because if we trade for Juan Soto, I feel like we should have a good faith deal or an actual extension ready to go ahead and give him the money so he can be a Yankee for at least the next 7 to 10 years. We have to shore up our outfield, especially left field. Got a $300 million payroll with nobody to play left field. We can definitely go old school Yankees. That would make my day. And go after Blake Snell as well as Bellinger or Soto. But we have to figure out the hitting. Pitching was a little shaky, but it was at least solid. I think if Nestor Cortez can come back healthy, I'm done waiting to see if Severino is going to be healthy, because even with his health, I think he's lost it. I don't think he has what he had back in 2017, 2018. But left field, we need hitting. We need average. We don't need anybody else to bat 215 and hit 35 home runs. I'll take 22 to 28 home runs and somebody batting over 275. DJ LeMahieu, hopefully last year was just a rough year. Hopefully he gets back on track this year. He was dealing with some health issues with injuries, but we definitely have to worry more about average opposed to trying to hit the long ball. Chicks dig the long ball, but winning chips comes from hitting with average. The power will come. We have Judge. Stanton can go yard. Rizzo, I don't know, man. These head issues starting to get a little tricky. But we have enough guys that can hit it over the fence. We need average. Aaron Judge has spoke to Brian Cashman from an article I read and told him that he need to prioritize average. But Brian Cashman, if you've been watching these games, you should already know this. But like I said, Yankees, let's go Bellinger or go big time Soto monster trade. Go old school Yankees if you're really feeling like it. I'm talking real old school. We go get Soto and we go get somebody like Blake Snell. That's me on my wish list, And but I do have a cheaper option for pitching, and I call it go bad boys and go after Julio Urias. I know that's not a popular name, or Trevor Bauer, another not so popular name. Trevor Bauer, the girl that he had his allegations with, just came out as a liar. It won't be pretty the first couple of games, but we know what he represents as a pitcher. Julio Urias, he's probably going to have to go do some domestic violence counseling, but after that, bring him on. I've always been a Julio Urias guy, big baller. Trevor Bauer, like I said, we know what he represents. So, yeah, that is my wish list for the Yankees. Bellinger, Soto, Snell, Urias, Bauer. Everything else I think we can figure out. I feel like if we was to get Bellinger or Soto in left field, we can move IKF to his natural position at third, where he was a Gold Glover. For Volpe, just won the Gold. Sorry, I'm struggling to talk. The Gold Glove at short. DJ at second is our best defender. Or we can actually, guess we'll keep Glaber. Unless we trade him for Soto. And then Rizzo or DJ at first base. Come on, guys. Let's make it happen, Yankees. Let's make it happen. All right? So that's just my quick MLB. I'll talk more about MLB. I'll probably do a whole episode on baseball going soon. I wouldn't say soon, but into the winter after the hot stove cools down. See what moves have been made. Hopefully the Yankees makes the moves that I want them to. But we shall see. Now, ready to go into my NBA talk. Like I said, this is just what I've seen from the first 10 games of all the teams. Every team I've watched at least a half of their games. I'm trying not to do this just based off highlights. That's why I don't have teams like Washington in there, the Raptors in there. It's just certain teams I didn't watch. I just gotta keep it funky, man. So we'll start at the top. It's gonna be like real quick hits of what I've seen, a quick note from each team. So of course I gotta start with my Lakers. They still haven't found out how to deal with non-LeBron minutes. The plus minus from LeBron not being on the court is horrendous. It was to a point last week where the Lakers were like minus 80 without LeBron on the court. 80 points. They're plus 32 at that time with LeBron on the court. This is why the Lakers acquired depth. I do understand Vando's hurt, Gabe Vincent's hurt, Ruiz has missed some games, but that's why you bring in Taurean Prince. This is why D'Angelo Russell, you get paid, you got your extension. These guys, Christian Woods, who's been a sneaky good pickup. I did not like it at first, but he's giving us length. That lineup with AD, Jackson Hayes, and Christian Woods is tough to deal with, but we still got to figure out the non-LeBron minutes. The Lakers did win last night with LeBron not playing. AD with a monster 30 and 13 game. AD's missed one game already. There goes his goal to play all 82. But hey, like I told my dad the other night, if AD misses one out of every 10 games, I'm going to live with that, and I'll be cool. Because you know what? He's still going to end up playing around 70 games, and that's going to be the difference in a crowded West between being like a 2 or 3 seed and being in the play-in. Moving forward, the Nuggets, they hit the ground running. Jokic is clearly the king of the hill. He's going for that triple-double record. I wonder if Westbrook can compile enough throughout the rest of his career to just fight off Jokic. But the way that he plays, him already being a big man, the rebounds are going to come, the passing isn't going to go anywhere, and him having a jump shot, I really think that he'll end his career with a triple-double record. They just play such beautiful basketball because when your best player is unselfish, it makes everybody play better. I really believe that. The only issue right now is Murray got hurt already, so he's going to miss most of November. And I think they will be okay. They showed last year that they can play without Murray, but they don't have the same amount of depth. You know, when you got Bruce Brown gone, Jeff Green gone, who's been playing pretty decent down in Houston, you're missing that punch with Jamal Murray being out. But all in all, man, I have no worry about the Nuggets. I think they'll be okay. Moving forward to the next team on my list, I have the Magic. The Magic are looking like a playoff team, not a play-in team. Paolo Banchero started off slow, but he's starting to get on the roll. You know, even in that loss at Mexico City, he played well, and then he played well against the Bucks the other day. They played very well against the Lakers. They blew them out here in Orlando. Anthony Black played in that game. I think that was his first game as a rookie. And he's going to get a lot of minutes going forward, I'm sure, or gain more minutes throughout the course of the season because he is a defender. And I really believe that being a defender will get you on the court when your shot's not going in. And him having that length, look, man, the league, that's what they're looking for. Long guys who can defend the perimeter and make three-point shots when called. He developed that three-point shot. He has all defensive player written all over him. Will he be? Maybe, maybe not. But he has that potential. All right? Shout out to the Magic. Hopefully I can get a playoff game in my backyard. All right, so the next team I want to talk about is the Warriors. Steph Curry seems to want that GOAT point guard mantle, and CP3 is fitting in seamless. Okay, I definitely didn't like the idea of CP3 going to the Warriors. I thought they'll ultimately be too small. They moved CP3 to the bench and have him as their sixth man and running the second unit, and I'm not going to lie, that looks great. I like seeing Chris Paul with Kuminga, with Moody, with Saric, who he played with in Phoenix, so he already has some kind of rapport with. Him taking Jordan Poole's reckless minutes, it shows so much now what the Warriors were dealing with. And like I said, I'm not really going to talk about the Wizards because I haven't watched them, so I don't want to go just off highlights. But they're blowing games or getting blown out. And it just shows that they don't have that calming, real point guard like Chris Paul can provide, whether you love him or hate him. He's going to win you games. Jordan Poole got to figure that out. Steph Curry, like I said, he seems to want that GOAT point guard mantle. He cooled down the last couple games. Whew. Excuse me. He's cooled down the last couple games, but started off on a tear. You know what kind of threat he is as a player. Draymond Green looks healthy. He looks refreshed. They're going to be a tough out. I do still think they're too small. If I was them, I would have tried to get Dwight Howard, but now that we see what's going on with Dwight Howard, it makes sense why they probably left that alone. But the Warriors are the Warriors, man. They're that team you just don't bet against. Next, I want to talk Boston. Boston is probably 1 through 5 the most talented team in the league, but I still don't see an actual offense. They miss Udoka. I mean, I get it. What he did was a fireable offense. But when it comes to sports, it's about wins and losses. And he took your team to the finals. And I feel like him not being there is the one thing that will make Boston fall short. Because you have your defender at the top with Drew Holiday. We know that Brown and Tatum are good defenders on the wing. Porzingis is holding down the paint. You can go double big with Al Horford. Derek White can get you a bucket. He can win you a playoff game on any night. But not seeing an actual offense is scary. You know, even what they're doing right now wins in a regular season. I'm going to check back because I'll probably do this every 10 games. And I'm going to see if something starts developing, you know, throughout the season. Or just there's going to be the same old Celtics. First seed, 55 to 60 game wins. Can't make the finals. In the finals, coaching matters more. In the playoffs, coaching matters way more than the regular season. So, let's see what happens with those Celtics. Moving forward, I got the Hornets. The Hornets are just still some pieces away. Veteran pieces. Most, you know, I was talking to Cuz about the Hornets. And, you know, I'm thinking more of a star. And he said something that made a lot of sense. They needed somebody like Jeff Green. You know, somebody who's respectable. He's a champion. He's not going to do too much. But when he speaks, people listen. So, I do like Mark Williams, even though he went to Duke. We know what LaMelo Ball represents, but I do want to see LaMelo Ball just more winning ways. Like, I know he had that great play playing defense against, was it Luka? I think it was Luka in Dallas. But just more of that. More game-winning activity. That's the next step for LaMelo Ball. But, hey, man, the Hornets going to be exciting as long as they got him at point. Because he can run point like the best of them. Next up, I have the Rockets. They're going to be fun and competitive all year. Dylan Brooks, you say what you want. He is all NBA defender. Van Fleet is a champion. Jalen Green is athletic. Jabari Smith, 6'10", can shoot. You know, they just have all these pieces. But the one thing I've noticed with watching the Rockets is I know they drafted Jalen Green. I know they have the one Thompson twin. But Şengün may be the person who they need to build around. Şengün has Jokic qualities. He just doesn't have the size. But I saw him with the mid-range. He's on the rebound. He can shoot the three. He passes very well. I mean, especially with that height, it makes it easier for him. So that is really the interesting thing with the Rockets. Nobody seems to be talking about it. But their best young talent is Şengün. And it's really not even close. Like I say, Jalen Green is athletic. He's fun to watch. But just playing basketball, Şengün is the guy for the Rockets. So right now they're fourth in the West. Let's see where it ends up. It's only first 10 games. Not going to overreact. But for the Nets, real quick, let me say this. I started doing the notes for this podcast Thursday. I wanted to go throughout the whole weekend and try and watch some more teams to get as many as possible. So when I wrote this in my notes, Cam Newton wasn't hurt. I said Cam Newton. Cam Thomas wasn't hurt for the Nets. My notes say right here, Cam Thomas is balling out of control because he really was. We're talking about somebody averaging 30. The shots he can make, he's just a shot maker. He can score any level of the floor. But the only issue I see with that with the Nets is it seems like Mikal Bridges is trying to figure it out. Where Bridges was balling out himself last year, he is trying to figure out how to fit in with Cam Thomas going ham. It's going to be even more interesting when Cam Johnson gets there. The game I saw, it was actually against the Clippers. Ben Simmons didn't play. Nicholas Claxton didn't play. The Nets are so deep with just solid players. Players going to have to deal with tonight's not my night. I believe they will because none of them are superstars per se, so I don't think anybody has that superstar diva mentality. But that is going to be Jock Vaughn's toughest job right now as a coach. For the Clippers, they're the Clippers. If anybody know me, y'all know how I feel about the Clippers. Don't believe in them. Never will believe in them. The trade for James Harden it made no sense. So you trade James Harden and you keep all your guards but trade all your wing defenders. You trade Covington, you trade Batum, but on this roster you have Norman Powell, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Bones Highland, Terrence Mann. What? Bones Highlands were getting you buckets. You know what Terrence Mann represents. And Westbrook was playing very well. So now you got James Harden passing up open shots. They lost 5 games since the trade. I'm not saying it's all James Harden's fault, but they just look out of sorts. So we'll see how long this lasts before either Westbrook or James Harden comes off the bench. It becomes the 6th man. Or, they'll probably try and make it sound good and be like, oh, no, he's our 6th starter. Only 5 people start, guys. You're the 6th man if you're coming off the bench. Okay, so going forward, the next team I have is the Miami Heat. They are feeling the effects of the Dame trade, but they are still the Heat, right? So they're still going to compete. You still have to worry about Jimmy Butler. Still got to worry about Bam Adebayo. Tyler Hero is trying to remind y'all what he is. I think part of it is when your team goes to the finals, when you get hurt the first game of the playoffs, you kind of want to give people that reminder of, hey, I'm part of the reason why we got in the playoffs in the first place. I've always been hard on Tyler Hero because he says stuff like I'm in the same boat as Trae Young and Luka Doncic. You're not that good, Tyler Hero, but you are a bucket, buddy. You are a bucket. So the next team I want to talk about is the San Antonio Spurs. Still a bad team. Them not having a point guard is crazy. Wembenyama is going to be everything as advertised, if not more, when he figures out how to play in the league. Right now, he's still just doing stuff off athleticism. He's shooting too many threes. He has to realize he's the tallest player on the court, probably at all times. I don't know if he's the tallest player in the NBA, but, I mean, other than Bol and Boban, maybe Porzingis, you don't have to worry about anybody being your height buddy. So he definitely is going to have to gain a little weight, get down in that post. And the Spurs are going to have to figure out their plans with him because they don't have a true point guard, and it shows. The guards, they had Keldon Johnson running a lot of the offense or Shohan running a lot of the offense. Vassell even, who just got paid. Man, I watch games and it's like they don't even look for Wemby sometimes, and that is crazy. They should run more action for Wemby. They should maybe put him on ball, see if he can handle the ball. Hey, look, man, you're not going to win a lot of games. Why not experiment and see what you got with Wemby? And see what you get in the draft next year going with them. But if I was the Spurs, I still don't understand them not going after Austin Reeves. I think Austin Reeves would have fit on this team perfect. He would have been a guard that can run a pick and roll and make Wemby way more comfortable. But, hey, shout out to y'all not doing that. And shout out to the Lakers for getting him for the low. All right, so the next team I want to talk about is the Dallas Mavericks. It looks like they may have actually put the right pieces around Luka this year. You have your tough defender in Grant Williams. You know what Kyrie represents as a bucket. We already know Luka is a 35-point triple-double waiting to happen every night, any given night. He can do that for you guys. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's been getting buckets. My only fear is if you're relying on Tim Hardaway Jr. to get buckets throughout the course of the whole season and a playoff run, you have to be prepared for him to be spotty sometimes. When he's hot, he can go give you 7, 8 threes in a night. When he's cold, he could definitely go 1 for freaking 8 for 3, and you're like, what just happened? I think Derek Lively is going to be the key. I don't think maybe Porzingis, but not even Porzingis. Luka has never had a guy who can roll to the basket like Lively. And Luka is already a tear when it comes to the pick and roll. So imagine having to really worry about a vertical threat like Lively. He's been blocking shots. He's been doing a lot of the good things and the little things as a rookie. So the next team I want to go into are the Bucks. From what I've seen, they're going to take a step back when it comes to coaching. Budenholzer wasn't big on adjustments, but the team played well under his system. They got a chip. Playoff team. And I know Giannis is the kind of player that he can elevate, but that's going to be another issue. Now with this Dame trade and like little free agents walking here and there, Giannis, I don't know if he's good enough to just elevate the Bucks to win games on a consistent basis if somebody like Dame is out and they're waiting on Middleton to get back to 100%. Giannis had 35 against the Magic Friday, and they lost. The Bucks do not have the same amount of depth, and that is going to be an issue, especially if Dame and Giannis don't figure out their chemistry. Hell, just tonight I was watching Dame, and going in the fourth quarter, he was 3 for 15. Got to find a way to get Dame easy shots. Got to find a way to keep the flow of the offense going with Dame and Giannis as they figure this out, because those are the horses that are going to lead you. Might as well make it the best for them. My next team I'm going to talk about is the Sixers. Joel Embiid is on a tear. He's definitely trying to show y'all that MVP wasn't a fluke. And dare I say, at this point in their careers, Tyrese Maxey is a better player than James Harden. At this point in their career. This is what makes that trade easier for the Sixers to make. And we're going to see what happens. I do still think the Sixers are a backup big away. But other than that, man, I do like what the Sixers have, especially getting a Covington, a Batum, because that just replaces the P.J. Tucker minutes. So you get better shooting. You get another 6 fouls at least because you get 2 for 1, and you get length on the perimeter. And like I say, Every team wants length on the perimeter and people who can shoot threes. You get that with Covington and Batum. And guess what? If one of them isn't on, you have the other one sitting there ready to go. So shout out to the Sixers. Daryl Morey, he's normally star hunting, but he did a good job just getting good rotation pieces. That's going to help in the playoffs. The next team I want to talk about is the Indiana Pacers. They will be in most games this year because their three-point variance is crazy. When I wrote this note, it was only 4, but they have 4 games this year already with 23 pointers made. Halliburton can shoot, Buddy Hield can shoot, Bruce Brown will get you one. It just stick to your shooters if you're playing against the Pacers. That is the game they want to play, and they're going to outpace you, no pun intended, by shooting the 3. They clearly know the philosophy, and it's true. 3s count more than 2s. So that is going to keep them in most games, even if you feel like you're playing better than them. They're going to shoot enough and make enough 3s where it's never going to be a blowout. And then we get to the fourth quarter, and it's close. Anything can happen, right? Moving forward, the next team I have is the Cavaliers. They may have the second best starting lineup or closing lineup, starting, closing lineup in the East. When you're rolling out Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Max Strus, and Jared Allen, that's not bad. They had to figure out the LeVert minutes. I guess they figured they wasn't getting enough out of that. But him coming off the bench is chef kiss, man. You gotta love him coming off the bench. The next team I want to get into is the Knicks. The Knicks. They need another superstar. Jalen Brunson is not enough. Only small guards to win you chips is Isaiah Thomas, the original, and Steph Curry. You need more size because size wins championships. Julius Randle is taking a crazy step back. I think this might be contract year, so that makes it even worse for him. I saw a post on Instagram. It showed like his first couple games. You got like 4 for 15, 3 for 15, 4 for 12. And it was like his stat line looked like he's going on tour. Just ridiculous. Mitchell Robinson has been balling, though, being that rim protector, that vertical threat. Like I say, they just need another star. I do have them on cat watch, but Minnesota's playing well. With that being said, let me go on to the Wolves. And I'll just say this, man. The Wolves have been the most impressive team I've seen in the league so far, and definitely the biggest surprise. I thought that they'll still be in that bottom half of the Western Conference. The first 10 games, I can see them winning the chip. Anthony Edwards is a dog. He is a baller. And he's taking that leap that you see certain players take when they join Team USA and play a summer with them. You have a summer of hooping with the best of the best, getting coached by the best of the best. And when you have that dog in you like Anthony Edwards does, it's just going to make you a great player, and it shows. Moving forward, have the Blazers. They're long, athletic, but they're really nothing but the Raptors West. Long, athletic, not enough talent to win a lot of games. They're going to be fun and exciting. I do want to see what they are when Anthony Simons come back, and he's a definite bucket. I'm disappointed in what I've seen from Scoot Henderson so far. I did have him as my rookie of the year, and I know it's only been 10 games, but it's clearly a two-man race. It's a Wemby and Chet situation going on. And speaking of Chet, I'll just go over to OKC. Chet, 17 a night, showing his length as a shot blocker or a shot alterer at least. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander picking up where he left off last season and playing for Team Canada, having that leap, which I guess is not much of a leap for Shai, seeing as he was all first team NBA last year. I just like them. They're young. You know what Giddey represents as a 6'10" two guard. Jalen Williams is good. Luke Dort, you have your defender with the torture chamber. OKC is going to ruin a lot of people's nights, and they're really going to shake stuff up in the West. All right? And the last team that I've watched, and I can give you a quick assessment on, is the Chicago Bulls. They're the same old. They're going to be tough to win against. They're still not good enough to actually win big in the league. Never have a top 8 record. Never have a bottom 8 record. It kind of puts them in a situation that they're in where they just cannot, unless it's free agency or a trade, they just cannot put together a top 2-3 team in the East team. I feel sorry for their fans because nothing is worse in sports than being mediocre. But the Bulls, there you have it. So, guys, that was my assessment of 21 of the 30 teams. Hopefully, I'll have an assessment for all 30 in the next one. But, like I say, certain teams I'm not really interested in watching. But for the sake of the pod and my sports integrity, I got you guys. So, I appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. I'll be back later on this week. I'm going to do a mid-season NFL report. Holla at you later. Peace.